Hey guys, and welcome to another UE4 tutorial. Today's going to be an extension of the torch that we worked on in the last video. We're going to decrement the intensity of the light down so that it basically turns off when it runs out of battery when you're using it, and it doesn't when you're not using it, and it will hold its charge. And later on, probably in another video, because it's going to be running slightly over 5 minutes, but later on we'll work on a battery, probably in the next video, so you can pick up a battery and it will recharge your flashlight or your torch. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is I'm back in the third person character event graph. So if you're not there already, navigate down to your third person character and go down, and we're going to need two things to start with. We're going to need event begin play and event tick. Everything you had for your torch before, I want you to delete all that, because that was just to check functionality. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull off the event begin play, and we're going to set the intensity of the spotlight, and we're going to set that to 1500, which is what we decided from before. If you wanted slightly more, needed slightly less, then set it to whatever was good for you, but for me 1500 was perfect, or as close as I was going to get. Okay, so the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add our key input again. So T, I've used T. Again, you can use whatever you feel like, it's not a problem. Bear with me a second. Okay, so on event pressed T, instead of setting the intensity this time, what we're going to do is we're actually going to toggle the spotlight. Okay, and then I'm going to copy, and I'm going to drag that up, and I'm going to paste that down again. Oh, no, Control V to paste, and I'm going to just move that spotlight getter down so this fits in nicely. Okay, so and on released, set toggle visibility again. Okay, so now from here, this is basically, essentially all this is doing is turning on and off my flashlight. And you notice down in my variables, I've now got 3 new variables, 2 of which we're going to use today, and one we'll use with the battery later on. Okay, the ones we're interested in are current power, and that is of type float. So if you're not sure, you want to press add variable, and you can type in current power. It tells me that I've already got that in use. Don't forget when you're creating variables to make sure that you separate out the words with capitalization. So current power. And it just makes it easier to read, and it makes it neater and tidier. Okay, and then torch on. So this is a variable to say that the torch is on or off. So again, when we're holding down T, we want that to be the torch on. So I'm going to set that. Drag it in, and you press set. Torch on becomes true, and then on the release I'm going to just copy that, and I'm going to paste it down, and then I'm going to make sure that I set that to false. So the little tick means it's true, and the not checked tick box means it's false. Okay, nice and easy. Then what we want to do is we want to go to the event tick. If you haven't already got that, just right click in your event graph in an empty space and type in event tick, like so, and look for this with a little star on the arrow, and that's a function. It's called every frame, so that's fine, it's easy, that's all you want. You just need that event tick, pull it in, and then we're going to say, right, so you have to bear with me a second, so I've not actually done a torch in a while, but we're just going to work it out. So what we want essentially is we want to set current power if the torch is on. So the first thing we need is a branch. Okay, and we're going to say if the torch is on, that's the condition. That is exactly the same as an if statement, or it is an if statement in C++ or JavaScript or any other coding language that has if statements. If you used them before, this is the if, that is the condition, and if that condition is met, if it's true, if the torch is on, I'm going to set intensity. No, I'm not. I'm going to set current power first, and I'm going to set that to get current power, and I'm going to -1 from it, and that's a float minus a float. This is quite important. I mean, it will convert most types for you, but I'm going to make that 50. So it's going to minus 50 off every frame. You'd probably make that a little bit smaller because that way your battery is going to actually last longer, but just for the purposes of showing how this works, we're going to keep this nice and small. So the next thing we're going to do is we've removed that from current power, and I'm actually going to want to just print a string now, just so that print string, so I can see when this works and when it removes values from my current power. And then I'm going to set intensity of the spotlight, and that is new intensity is going to be current power, obviously. Okay, and that's just overlapped on my box a little bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that out there for a second. I'm going to select all of this, and then I'm going to drag them all across, and I'm going to press C and comment all of that out. Pull that back down so it's more legible. Right, okay, so that's pretty much it. It's nice and easy, nice and simple. And you've got three things. You've got the event begin play. When we start, it sets the intensity to 1500. Then on T-press, it's going to set torch on, which will call this condition to true, and means it does this bit where it sets the intensity and removes 50 every frame. So I'm going to compile and save that, and we'll just go and play, and I'll show you that working. That is, here we go, there we go, and there's my flashlight. And if you just wait a second or two, you can see that the intensity of that light goes right down to 0. Okay, you'll probably, if you keep your finger on the T button any longer, you'll notice that it actually goes down into max figures. And in the next one, what we'll do is we're going to clamp that between 0 and 100. Between 0 and 1500, and then we're going to have the add battery component in there as well as an extra actor in scene. Anyway, any comments? Leave them down below. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.